So I just watched the video where Cynthia G was speaking about Nick Cannon. Basically, some people saying that he claiming this his legacy or whatever. Just basically about Nick Cannon announcing that he's having another baby shortly after the passing of his other baby with another baby mama, and he's having another baby with a new baby mama. And it's like, Lord, and just her breakdown was definitely so real, like how she explains it, where intellect meets real talk. Like, I don't see how anybody cannot see it that way. Like, I definitely see it that way, and like I said, I don't agree with everything that she's saying, or like, but almost a good 90 something to 99%, almost. It's something that's just not clicking, and I'm not really trying to put my finger on it or whatever. I do be trying to be careful when I'm listening to it, whatever. But that thing, um, be raw. And just the way that she was just saying, that's not a legacy, just having kids and having different baby mamas. It's not leaving a legacy behind, which he's not the only black man who's done that. But then she was pointed out that, basically he got a preference or whatever. It's always a mixed female. And probably shoot, after he been with Mariah and had those kids, she probably kind of like wanted to make sure that it was that way. Like, you ain't gonna have no other kids not looking like my kids. I don't know. Ain't no telling, honey. But I don't know. Of course, watching it is just like almost heartbreaking all over again. It's like reliving it again because honestly, I'm dealing with similar, where I got pregnant by one man, had my daughter, and that didn't work out. So of course, moved on to another man, and of course, that's why I stopped and had my two boys. I haven't moved on, but I, you feel stuck because you're like, well, let me just follow his lead. I don't really say it like that. I don't. To me, I just don't want to follow in the lead of stupidity, and that's what I feel like it is. But be feeling like, hey, let me do what he did. Let me go get up under another one, you know what I'm saying? But man, and I do feel like it's easy to do that, but then you got some of these dudes out here throwing their kids in the lakes and the rivers and stuff, and it's like, oh no. Cause you be wanting a dad to be in the light. Well, me personally, I didn't want to be a statistic. I'm sorry, stigma, a statistic. Well, I didn't want that stigma attached as far as baby mama. I, but yeah, some of these females is just definitely cool with being a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I don't even like being nobody's second. And I truly felt like, had I linked up, had I heard, this is what I truly feel and believe. Had I linked up and heard from God earlier, I wouldn't have had my daughter with who I have her with. But being that me and his daughter is like, me and the boy's dad daughter is the similar age, but my daughter was older. I just feel like, dang, that maybe that's what it was supposed to be. But that's what, of course, that was back when I was feeling like that and thinking like that. Now I'm no longer thinking like that because I haven't forgotten it, but I'm just no longer thinking like that because things have changed like drastically. So to me, that's where confusion come in. But she was going in on them, and yeah. I look at, of course, Lil Wayne and all them he had. What he got, Nivea, he got Lauren London, he got other people, and of course, Toya, and whoever else he had the boy had the kids with, and it's like, oh my god. And granted, y'all got the money to take care of it, but And then, of course, Boosie, but y'all got the money to take care of him, but what, you know what I'm saying? All these different mixtures of personalities, and then, like she started to say, all these different pH balances, and some people don't take care of their hygiene the same way another one does, so I know you doing back, at least, she said at the least bacterial vaginosis, or but that's at the least, honey. This stuff gets wild, it gets nasty, and of course, who's to say them females is not going around sleeping with somebody else when you're not there with them? And a part of me don't blame them, because it's like, honey, you know, naturally you be wanting to be with somebody. I thought, but it seemed like being with multiple is the is trying to become the natural, or having a side dude or whatever. Oh Lord, that's just me. Like, I'm not gonna judge nobody or say or misjudge or anything. I don't know. I feel like I can, but just because I'm sitting here and I'm not involved with nobody else. Just because both my kids' dads have been in several different whatever they've been in. Um, That made me feel a type of way. Now, the part that I definitely don't really agree on is not having kids with black men, but she got a point when she say, you keep giving birth to them, and they grow up, they hate you, and which I feel like Tupac said this, but they grow up, they hate you, whether it be your own kids or whether it, of course, be just another black man that's starting to hate black women and just do heinous stuff. And I've experienced that. Then I look back on my own situation where, again, I have a so-called stepdad. Well, I had a so-called stepdad, not that he's not living, but just saying I had a so-called stepdad because my so-called mom had children by, multiple men. Then I had a so-called stepmom, then I had another stepmom, then I had another, female that was connected. And it's just like, when does it end? How do we get it right? And so, me, at one point in time, I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine with being a generational curse breaker, because I thought I was in the place with the boys' dad to do that. And I'm like, okay, cool, great, we gonna dominate, honey. And then when he went off somewhere else, like, it's like egg on my face. Well, what am I supposed to do now? And all I can do right now is, I mean, I'm not going to say that's all I can do, but all I'm doing right now is kind of sitting still. And that's what Sinji even said. She was like, yeah, she said he's not helping to upbuild and uplift the black community. He's leaving them stagnant. It's causing more, poverty type situations and stuff. Because now you got all these kids, and I don't know how many boys they got, but you got kids that can go out and impregnate and do the same cycle, or girls that can get pregnant by a no good, or a dude that wants to just go and have sex with different females, and here you go. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I was thinking too about how when I was younger, see, I introduced my daughter's dad. And of course, we didn't have the baby. We didn't have a child then. But I think that's when I got around the time I got pregnant. But I introduced my daughter's dad to my dad when we was young, because he just showed up at the house at one time. And then he didn't introduce me to his, but I met his when he got locked up. Um, what was I gonna say? Um, I definitely wanted my boys' dad to come and meet my so-called dad. A couple years after I had my first son. And he came, but he was at that time, and I didn't even really know. But during that time, I think it was 2013 or 14. I didn't even really know, but he was involved with another girl, and he stopped what he was doing to come over here and do that. But he went right on, you know what I'm saying, went right on back over there. And I was feeling the type of way. And when he came, he was like, oh, you want to act like we together? We can. I'm like, I'm not going to act like I'm together with you. And if I would have did that, my feelings would have been tore up, because he had a whole nother female that he was over there uh, dealing with or whatever, and was finna go back to, or whatever, so to speak. I don't know. See, again, I didn't know that was going on, so that's why I be feeling like, Lord, how do we stop? And when I was young, I was out, I mean, if you want to say playing the field or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like this. I would have stuck with who I was with first. I did, link up with this guy when we was younger or whatever, and then I did move on from. Well, he moved from the neighborhood, so I couldn't see him that often. So, in my childlike mind, I wasn't trying to be in no long. He was on the other side of town, but I wasn't trying to be in no long distance relationship or whatever. And I felt like he was gonna meet another girl too or whatever, and pretty much that's what happened. But he was still riding bikes and stuff coming back over to the neighborhood. And then he told me we got older and we talked. He was like, "Yeah, you played me with such and such." And I'm like, "Boy, you done moved and went to another school. Like, that was my child like mentality." So that was that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Ain't no need in me really. I can only explain what happened in my situation, but I'm not trying to be no philosopher or like give theories on other people. But I be observing and I just look and it's like, man, I don't like what I see. And then she broke down how he wanted to talk about. I don't know if he said he was polygamous or whatever, but he definitely said he wasn't monogamous or something like that. But that's not polygamy when you got the females living in separate. I mean, unless he contributing and paying for all their households, paying their bills and stuff like that, I think that might be some form of polygamy. Because if he is the man and he's taking care of all their stuff, he's fitting the bill for all of them. But she said, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to have them all in the same house. And, to some extent, they supposed to be getting along and raising all the kids like that or whatever. But to me, that's still wild because, like, these kids still come out of different wombs. So, it's still gonna be so many different personalities. But again, I don't know how it's truly supposed to work. A lot of people are for or like starting to agree with or lean towards polygamy. Some people just straight monogamy. Of course, the polyamory. Like I didn't know this stuff. I'm just wondering, when did polyamory come about? Like just because I'm getting older, maybe it's always been a thing, and I'm just getting older now, and so now that's when I'm like hearing about it. But of course, the normal that you didn't see a man having different wives in these different house. I mean, in the same household, or even you definitely seen them making baby mamas out of people. I seen that in my own life, but even then, I didn't grasp it until I got older, and it's still hard to grasp to me because I just don't feel like it's. I feel like somewhere the truth is somewhere either mixed in there or still just beyond our reach or something like that. Um, so I don't know. I am not on no. I do want truth in my life, but I'm not for these particular matters. I kind of like have given up because of what happened to me and just what I see and hear about, of course, in the media all the time or whatever. And but yeah, as far as him announcing about another baby shortly after the other one died, and I'm like, and then coming back and making an apology. It's like, man, y'all wilding out here and just don't give a damn. And I see other celebrities and stuff, 3, 4 baby mamas or more, and just, it's like, man, just spread yourself so thin. And, you just wonder why does it have to be that way, but, or why is it that way? Then on the other hand, I have seen men who just had all his kids with that one woman, still with that woman. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I have seen it to me to be more successful when you keep your penis in your pants and keep it in that one household. I've seen it to be, what I'm saying, you're more stable minded. It seems like more stable minded, but I've seen some very handsome men who done had kids all up and down the east or west coast or wherever, you know what I'm saying? And they seem to still be seemingly functioning, but I mean, if you get closer, like just specifically my kid's so-called paternal granddad, you know what I'm saying? I see the issues and stuff, but you really got to be up close and personal. But Of course, he lost at least one child. He might have, he might have lost more, but I don't get it. I remember the time when I had his other so-called grandson over here, like for years. My kids lived here, been here, whatever. He don't speak, he don't say nothing. Now we have had certain moments, but he don't say nothing or nothing like that. But then, soon as the one after his son died was over here, over my house, and he was across the street, which to me is like, you a low life. You don't have nothing better to do than to just be hanging out at your so-called sister house. Like, you just don't. And she trying to make sure she keep you up under her. And so that would gave him the opportunity to see what was going on at my house. But he only picked and chose what he wanted. And so, now that his other son was dead, he came and gave that one a hug while he was at my house. And I'm like, I was letting him go outside and stuff like that. And he hurried up, you know what I'm saying? He'll hurry up quick to try to make some kind of moves or whatever. And he pointed, and I don't like him, but I don't never deprive people of their young and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Their bloodline young or whatever. But if his mom would have told me, don't bother with it, then no. But I told her, I was like, I did let her know. I was like, well, they was getting ready to walk down to the basketball court, and he hurried up, scurried over like a little rodent and hugged him. And then he made a point to hug my son or whatever. My son is older than that one or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like he acknowledged the one that was dead as the older one, and even that one he had his same name as well. That could have been his mama's doing, naming him. But I think she was also married to him too. So, I mean, I'm talking about this because that's what I see. I see all these different situations. I'll be like, well, which one was true? What works? Blended family, stepmom, step parents, stepdads, this, that, and the third. I watched a YouTuber tonight and she had a couple episodes about being a stepmom and stuff like that. And it's like, I watched it because it was entertaining, but it's like, damn, that don't even register with me no more because I had that and I done lived through that, and that's not my case no more. He's not married to the same female that he basically left my mom or whatever behind for. And I was like, oh Lord, have mercy, and honey, and I'm at the place where I'm just like, I would never want to see my so-called mom and my so-called dad together. Now, I liked seeing. I'm not gonna lie. At times when I seen them agree about certain stuff regarding, of course, my life or whatever. But and I thought that was a good, decent, healthy thing. But as far as, because I have never seen them together like that, you know what I'm saying? I seen that my so-called dad got old pictures of my so-called mom in her lingerie and stuff like that. Even though you done married off these other people, and yeah, hopefully, I guess it's a dude that still got pictures of me. I wasn't even thinking, honey. But yeah, mm, it's just so much going on. And it does, to me, it does contribute to poverty. It's like, because you are, honestly, you going to sleep with a woman that really could be linked up with somebody else, have a good man, or she could be doing good by herself. I don't want to say doing bad by yourself, but doing good by herself and being contributing to society in a different type of way. Like you're taking their gifts or tampering with their gifts or whatever, because when they laying up with somebody and then of course carrying a baby, that kind of it slows you down when you're not in the right place you're supposed to be. But I know you could be fine if you was at the right place. But then poses the question, where is the right place, since everybody's sleeping with everybody? And I mean, I just can't seem to get away from that dude throwing his baby in the river, like, for real. Then the black guy, what's his name? Raji, whatever his last name was, killing off his ex-wife and his girlfriend who was pregnant with the baby, and left the kids behind to be traumatized. Because of course he committed suicide as well. So You know, to me, I'm just like, well, I feel like that's a good thing for him because he can't go around and have no more. But now you got another potential homicidal side or two because you had children. He killed the one, so that one will never come in the world. That could have been, a success. But you see what I'm saying? It's so much damn confusion, and it just be like, oh. And my thing is, I do know. I believe that the wages of sin is death. I mean, just like I do believe the gift of God is eternal life. But that's why I feel like But it'd be so crazy to me because they look so successful. Like people say, "Oh, this is a person that gets up and go to work every day, this, that, and the third." But here I am. I struggle sometimes to maybe get out of bed or to, get something right. And of course, I get looked down on or whatever. I don't be caring, but I look at myself too, my own, where I feel like, oh, I could improve with my kids. I could do this, that, and the third. But if I had the right setup, or if I had the help that I asked for and stuff like that, but yeah, well, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Felt like I had to burp. Oh, excuse me. About to eat these watermelon. They picked me the worst. Some bad kind of watermelon. Like they don't look good at all. What time is it? Oh, busting passed by. Mm, 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 mm. So crazy. I have not rode that bus in so long. Gosh, was it 2020? I think 2020 I stopped riding. I may have rode it one time in 2021, but I don't know. I don't think so. It was just, I rode it. It was free once the pandemic and stuff started, and that was that. It was free the whole time. But, that's different from as far as my life. I would say it's an improvement, but I just enjoyed riding it and I threw the stuff that was associated with it away. Like, especially after the lady done told me that's their property and stuff like that. Like, what? This our property? I'm like, what? What? I didn't get it. That was when it definitely started to seem and get weird to me. And that's the other thing. Sometimes it seems like it's about money, but others it seems like it's not, but it really is. I know it's definitely a money thing. People definitely out here serving mammon. I don't want to keep saying that. I don't know who driving this car, but anyway, that don't matter. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I got two black sons, and I'm just trying to sit down, talk to them. I want healthy relationships with them. Um, mm, it's just tough out here, man. It's tough. It's real. Yet I feel so deprived and stuff like that. And I know I'm not the only one, but I'm gonna speak up on my stuff because that helps me to cope. That helps me to heal and get through. Some people can sit there in silence if they want to, and never, at least speak on it, vent about it or whatever. And at this point, I'm not venting to one specific person or whatever. Of course, I'm getting on here as an audio journal, but I'm not venting to one specific person like I had used to and just pouring my information into them. I'm just kind of getting it out because it's like, oh God, seem like it's just so harsh. And yep, it definitely seems like whatever my so-called dad did to some females, including my so-called mom, that happened in my life, showed up in my life. That's why I just be like, I don't know. Males seem like they really on a certain accord to do dirty stuff. And then you got your group of males who really, you know what I'm saying, really try to be a man, operate as a man, and don't do that dusty type behavior. But it seems so rare. Anyhow, it's screwed up out here, man. Just trying not to get tripped up and all that. And I'm telling you, I guess I could have last summer or, earlier last year or whatever when dude was riding his motorcycle or whatever. Because I sure was looking, because it's just point blank period. I'm a heterosexual woman and I'm looking in a direction of a man, honey. I see females and stuff like that, but I don't be giving them no attention. And to me, I be feeling like they really want attention from everybody. But shoot, then again, some of the males out here do too. But anyway, I don't know. I just feel like my both my kids' dads like left or just put me in a certain position. And I was gonna mention too, was one time when I was trying to go and stay with my so-called dad, just to go down there and just try to build up some, cause I wasn't bringing in a certain income that I wanted. So I'm like, I got to do something different, and it didn't work like that. And I had told my daughter's dad, I was like, oh, he about to get the key or whatever, and I guess I did try to jazz it up and make it seem like we was more than what I I feel like I did that. I didn't I mean, I was definitely involved with him, but I just with the boys' dad at the time, but he was still doing trifling stuff or whatever, and I was putting it to my daughter's dad. I was like, yeah, I'm about to let him get the key. He was like, no, let me get the key and all that. And I wasn't trying to have them in competition, but I see it kind of brought it out of him when I said that. And I was like, oh no, ain't no way you getting no kid over here. But I don't know, that's just how I was, and that's how I was thinking towards my kid's dad, at one point in time. Like, I was here, like I said, trying to help and trying to assist, even after the bad hardship, crazy stuff that I went through with my daughter's dad. So, and then, yeah, that was my boy's dad responded one time and was like, "Yeah, you." For one, he tried to tell me, "Oh, you trying to get rid of all your kids." He was projecting even that on me. I didn't sit around and say, "Let me plot on how to get rid of all my kids." I always want my kids to be somewhere safe, and at home is to me felt like the safest place. But I want to know my kids are safe. I don't want to just go or be alone because for the sake of being alone, or go do something for the sake of doing something and put my kids off on people. So he said that, and I guess he was just projecting on me or whatever. And then, even though he the one who asked for our kids on that night, oh, you trying to get rid of all your kids? No, I'm not. I didn't do none of that. But at this point in time, I want my kids now. I don't want to put my kids on really nobody because I don't trust them. But I do want them to mature and be able to be okay if I have to step away for a certain amount of time or anything. I'm not saying that I am, but because I don't trust them. I don't trust none of them now. I ain't trusted a lot of them for a long time, but I definitely don't trust most of them, if not all of them now. The only one I did trust and barely was my so-called grandma, my late grandma, but my kids, and even she did stuff that I was like, oh Lord, I don't even want to send them over there. But even with that, I was like, well, you know what? They so-called dads is the one that left them in a position to have to deal with stuff like this. So this is the safest place I feel like they can go, and let me do that. And honey, What is me time? Because I don't know it. But, he said stuff like that, and he told me I was trying to have him and my boy, my boys' dad competing. I mean, he told me I was trying to have him and my daughter's dad competing and stuff like that. I'm like, what? You know, I know I didn't say a lot of this stuff before, but I just be trying to sometimes go back over, like, what the heck is really going on? But I can't get to the bottom of it because, you know what? For one, we need to be continuously moving forward and not looking back. And for two, you know, it's just it was disorderly, and it might be more than just disorderly. It might just be something that I'm missing besides disorderliness, because it seemed like can't get rightness. But anyway, to God be all the glory either way, because yeah.